Okay, so I made a Hell Guide video about 4 months ago now, and there's been a lot of new units that have been added to Grand Cross. Obviously, a lot of you guys are also new to it because you guys started playing Global about 2 months ago now. I believe that it's been out. So I'm going to do an updated Hell Guide with the characters on JP. Now, there will obviously be teams you can form with Global, but for the most part, I believe that when Hell does come out, some of these new units that I'm going to mention in the video will probably already be out on Global, if not close to releasing. But I'm sure either way, you could probably find a way to make a team out of all the units I'm about to show. So now, as you can see on the screen to your left here, I can't see the gameplay. It's all pre-recorded gameplay. But the first demon we're going to talk about is the Red Demon. Now, the Red Demon is probably one of the easiest demons to do on Global JP as a starting unit, because all you have to do is use the free-to-play king who can just petrify him. Now, it obviously does rely a lot on RNG, and so, I mean, when you're running Hells, you know that it has to be a mono team, so it's a lot of RNG dependent, depending there. So, obviously, the first one is going to be Blue King. I don't feel like I have to explain him too much. You level 2, you petrify, you get a heal, and then his ultimate is AoE. Especially if you guys have been investing into him, he's going to be hitting pretty damn hard. And then you got the association links. Now his passive here isn't going to be all that great, but due to just having petrification and healing, he's a fantastic unit for Hell. Second unit that you can use for DPS is actually Slater. Slater is a fantastic unit for DPS on Hell Red. He has Sever, which is a 2x crit damage, and then he can remove stances with his second skill at level 2, which is fantastic, especially when you don't get to petrify him and he ends up, putting up that stance, which is super annoying to deal with. He has his passive, which increases his crit chance to 300% of its value when the hero's attack on an enemy with an empty ultimate move gauge, which honestly on a raid, if you guys notice, you can't really see the ultimate gauge when it comes to I believe on the Red Demon you can't actually see it, or if he has one at all. So I don't think his passive will really be, come in handy too much. And he does have a fate, and obviously if you do crit, or you do increase his ultimate, he will be doing some crazy damage. And on top of that, it also stops the Red Demon from absorbing your soul and healing, which is obviously really annoying, especially when you're getting really close to killing. Now, this is a unit that has not dropped on Global just yet, but I'm sure it'll come soon. Is actually the blue Arthur, which you actually see on gameplay. You see Speedy here using him, which, by the way, shout out to Speedy, who helped me run these raids really quick. He can cancel stances and he stuns at his level 3. And he disables attacks for a turn here, which is fantastic. If you run him alongside Merlin and you stop him from attacking and then use Blue Merlin's first skill, I believe, it will stop him from using any sort of attacks on you. And then you have the increased damage per ult orb, which increases by 50%. So at max ult, he will have a 100% chance to crit. Absolutely fantastic. He's a great unit and he hits like a tank, especially with Sever, which is, again, the 2x crit chance right there. So he is a very good unit as well. Now, as I just mentioned, Merlin is a good unit because the first skill will make it at level 2, which, by the way, shout out to It's Just Sly for this team that I'm about to mention that you can use. Is Blue Merlin makes it to where he can only allow an attack skill. So like I said, with the blue Arthur, and you guys combine both, Arthur's level 2 skill and then Merlin's level 1-2 skill, you guys aren't, the Red Demon's not gonna be able to do anything to you. Her second attack's kind of useless. It decreases skill rank, like I said. I don't think that the Red Demon has ult orbs. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head right now, and I don't remember him ever really ulting. I could be dumb here, and I've been playing the game for literally over a year now, and I still can't remember. I still can't remember the ranking in PvP either, so let me live. And then we got her ultimate, which obviously we don't have to go over. If you have her fated with Arthur, she's gonna be doing a crap ton of damage. And then we also have her passive right here, which, isn't all that great because I've showcased her enough to show you guys that she isn't fantastic. Now, this is a brand new unit that has dropped on JP, and I know probably won't be coming to Global in a while here. And some of you Global people are probably like, oh my god, I get it, JP units. But don't worry, there are more units here. And honestly, the King, the Slater, and then I'll be talking about the subunits towards the end, are just that's half the team right there. Don't worry, you guys, I'll get to you guys as well. But the Ellie is fantastic. Her first skill at level 2 will just stun. stun. There you go. If you for some reason don't get the King petrification, you might have the Elizabeth stun right there and ready to go. She has a shield, which in case you didn't have a CC or anything, he's gonna hit. You have a shield now to protect you. And then if someone dies, she has the res, which is fantastic. And her ultimate gives you a reflect and heal. So the Ellie is pretty good for the red. Now using the Merlin, Ellie, and Arthur strat is going to be a little bit of a slower raid. But if your teammate has Slater like Speedy does here in the video, you'll be going through it in a flash. Now, something that you guys probably don't expect is Pierce team. A pen team is actually fantastic for Red Demon. It's insane. Elizabeth again, I'm sure he has ult and I'm just stupid right now and I'm just not remembering, but she removes ult removal, she can heal, and then we have the Mellie Otis, which just hits hard. Now the one downfall, the biggest downfall with this is that you can't corrosion him. So if you are going to bring the Mellie Otis, make sure that your King petrifies and has a second petrification before you ult, because it's the only way you're gonna be stunning them, or unless you are using Bonbon, who can actually put a debuff on the Red Demon. Other than that, you need to make sure, you gotta be careful running this team. You gotta make sure that you have a petrification or a debuff unit on either team, so that way you can, you take advantage of his ultimate attack here, or else this Mellie Otis is gonna be doing too much. Trust me, it's gonna suck. Now, as I mentioned, Bonbon, fantastic unit. You obviously want to do your ultimate. I believe his ultimate is the only way you will debuff him. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment section. But if not, you will be able to debuff him with, I think, a level 2 minimum. Level 3, you'll obviously debuff him. But if not, only ultimate will debuff him. And then he cancels stances, which is fantastic. You need him to cancel a stance. He decreases defense-related stats. His ultimate increases defense by 50% of all enemies' defense, which is, he's pretty tanky too. And then we have his ultimate, which is the same as a green bond. Now, we can also use Elaine. I know, again, this is a unit that Global does not have. Halloween Elaine is a buffer and can also decrease attack-related stats, which is pretty good right there on its own. And then her passive increases defense-related stats by 8% to start the next turn for, the hero takes damage. Now, another unit, which is absolutely fantastic, and Global can make this team right now. So here you go, Global players. For you guys that, are like, where the hell for Global, this is it right here. You can use Ellie Hawk. I know, pay attention. Ellie Hawk and Gallon are an incredible duo. So Ellie Hawk, Gallon, and then King is just pure DPS, with King there to heal and petrify, because they both have amplify. Okay, and with amplification you can use this right here. Her level 2 will give everyone a buff, which is fantastic. On top of that, it does stack every single time, so you can just keep stacking on one of them, or if you're getting lucky and use level 2s, just keep stacking, and they're gonna be hitting hard with their level 1s, because it's absolutely insane how that works. And then we also have Gallon's I believe his passive, which just makes it to where the Red Demon will target him. I believe it works in deathmatch as well. Oh no, it doesn't apply in deathmatch. I'm being dumb, don't listen to me. It doesn't apply in deathmatch. I could have sworn it does, but I think I'm thinking of Training Cave. But those are the units you want to run in the front, and it's gonna be these guys right here. A team for Global, again, Ellie, Gallon, King, and in the back, as a sub unit, you can use Golgius. He does a 15% extra. Jericho, the extra 10% damage and attack. Or she has not released on Global yet, so this one is JP only at this very moment, is Jenna. Now the reason I'm saying Jenna is because she has a cosmetic that increases the drop rates for Hell. The cosmetic drop rates will drop if you have the right costume on Jenna on the Hell raid, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's why I recommend her. But if not, Jericho, Golgius are fantastic back slot units. So that's what I have for the Red Demon. Again, I'm gonna go over them real quick. King, Slater, Blue Arthur, Blue Merlin, the new Elizabeth, Easton, the Pen team. We have Bonbon, Elaine, Elizabeth, Gallon, Golgius, Jericho, and then Jenna. Now the Red Demon does have the most units, so I mean, if it feels you have a variety when it comes to the Red Demon, in my personal opinion. So without further ado, we're gonna move over to the Gray Demon now, and talk about that team now. Okay, so now the Hell Demon is probably the hardest Hell Demon to actually do because he's the most annoying to do. So on the left side, again, shout out to Speedy who helped me do all of these demons. We have the team, which I believe is Valenti, Escanor, Gil Thunder, and King. Now I am running the Gil Thunder, and Speedy is running the Escanor. Valenti, you have to make sure that she has pen rolls on her defense, so that way, as you can see in the video, the Gray Demon is doing absolutely nothing to you whatsoever in damage. And now I know her attacks aren't really going to do anything, but you want to build up her ult because her ult has Rupture, which is fantastic. So as long as the enemy is buffed, you will be doing 2 times damage. And I know on the first stage, the Gray Demon doesn't, get a buff until about the 3rd or 4th turn. And that's when you want to ult with Valenti. But until then, I would recommend you build up the Valenti ult and you go from there. So that's why she is crucial for Hell, actually. Like, I think she is actually a required unit for Hell if you want to beat it without having to do it over and over again. Because as you can see in the video, Green King isn't doing all that damage. He's not all that in this. So you want Valenti to make sure that you're surviving. Now you have obviously Escanor. I know a lot of you are probably like, what do you mean Escanor can't hit? His ultimate can hit, and he's someone that you're only going to be using his Cruel Sun for. And then on phase 2, once you break his shield, he does go down, so you can use Escanor's first skill. You can use Elegant Blow on it to actually hit him. But other than that, you want to be using him mostly for his ult, because that's where he's going to be doing a crap ton of damage. It's Escanor. He hits hard, Now we have Gil Thunder, which I know a lot of you guys are already using. So, kudos on you. You guys know how to use Gil. I'm happy for you. And I don't feel like I really have to explain Gil and why he's on the team. And same thing with King. King is on there. You guys, I see you guys using King on Global already and on JP. So I don't feel like I have to explain King as to why you use him. Now, say you don't have Gil for some odd reason, you don't have Gil or you don't have him leveled up or whatever, you can use Hellbrum. Green Hellbrum is also a buffer. He's only there to buff, but on the bright side, say you have already ultimated with your Valenti, and now you just want to get rid of his buff. His ultimate actually removes buffs, which is absolutely fantastic. So that is another unit you can use. Now, another unit you can use to be on the safer side is actually Green Elizabeth. She will just heal, and that's kind of what you want to keep going. Now, that was kind of one of the dangerous things. As you can see, we do start losing in the Hell Demons because running out of health, and Valenti can only do so much. So Elizabeth is a good unit to bring instead of, let's say, 2 Valentis. If someone has a really good Valenti, you don't need 2. It's just you run 2 to be safe. The other person can bring Elizabeth, so that way you can keep healing. Now in the back, these are all going to be sub units that are next. You can run Alione because he increases your HP, Julian because she also increases HP, Kane because he increases your attack by 10% in death matches, and then Ruin will actually make it to where you take 20% less damage in death matches. So those are good units. And now this one is JP only, is going to be Zenari. Zenari, the reason you're going to bring her is the same reason you would bring Jenna to the Hell Red, is because she has the cosmetic that allows you to get better drop rates. And she is a Valentine's Day unit. I don't know when they'll come to Global. They could change it up and bring it at any time. But at this current moment, JP only for Zenari. But that is a Gray Demon. Not complicated. Much smaller, character pool than the Red Demon when it comes to a Hell Raid. So there's that. And then we're going to move over to the Crimson, which is probably the easiest on JP right now. So let's go over there. All right, so now for the Crimson Demon, the Howlex Demon, whatever you want to call him, you bring Gowther. Obviously, I don't feel like I have to explain Gowther. Gowther is like the necessity because his upgrade is absolutely insane and one of the best things to come to the game, and why he's one of the best units in the game still. So I don't feel like I have to explain Gowther. I know a lot of you guys know about Mellie Otis, and obviously Mellie Otis has an advantage on the Crimson Demon, so I don't really feel like I have to explain Mellie Otis, but in case I do, you want to make sure you ignite, and then you use his Blaze Burst, and then once he has the debuffs added, you ultimate. Alright, a lot of people don't do that, so keep that in mind. Ignite, Blaze Burn, ultimate. Now if you have multiple ignites, multiple ignite over Blaze Burn. You want to do more ignites because ignites makes it to where the enemy will take 10% more damage. Okay, so make sure that is the case. Now Another unit that unfortunately you guys do not have on global yet, but when she releases on global, she will make you go through this demon raid in a flash. It is Derriere. Derriere's passive makes it to, or is it commandment? I don't remember which one it is. No, her passive makes it to where she will get a buff every time you use her ultimate, or not her ultimate, any card. So if I use one of these cards, she will get a stack on her ultimate of a passive of a buff. I'm sorry, I can't speak. Once you use a card, she will get a buff for every card you use. So what you want to do with, as you'll see on screen, is I start stacking Derriere right off the bat, so that way I can have her buff stacking throughout the entire match. So I just throw one Derriere card out at a time. Her second skill is her upgrade, which increases basic stats by 20, 30, and then 50% at level 3, which is insane. And then as you'll see towards the end of the video here, on the gameplay here on the side, you use your ultimate, because you just amplify, and she does a crazy amount of damage. As you see towards the end, Speedy actually uses his ult and he hits for 1,000,000. She will make your life so much easier when she finally releases on global. But for now, JP, this is definitely a unit you want to run for Hell Crim. Now, this is a team that actually global players can make, is you can use Arthur as well, because he has his buff, and then he will make it to where you also can't be debuffed at level 3, which is fantastic, because he does make it to where you can't heal anymore, and that does suck. So the team you would run is Gother, Mellie Otis, and then Arthur for right now, at least, while you wait for someone else to come out, or and by that I mean Derriere to come out. And another unit that goes perfect with Arthur, you guys know who I'm going to talk about right here for a second, Escanor. Once Red Escanor drops, you can run Gother, Arthur, Escanor in the front if you would like, because obviously, as you guys know, the Red Escanor's passive makes it to where he just pops off, not his passive, I'm sorry, his first skill, Amplify, pops off with Arthur combined next to him. Arthur gives him 3 buffs when it comes to base stats, on top of his already HP buff that he has active by himself with his passive for the first 3 turns. This skill right here is just going to take out the Hallex Demon. On top of that, he also can remove ult, and he just has his very hit hard ultimate. And since he is a coin shop unit, you might even have him 6/6 right off the bat. So there is that. Now, another team you can run in the front on global right now is actually Bonbon. Bonbon is a very good unit to run for this team, because you want to ultimate and you want to snatch, which is, because you use his ultimate and then you use his first skill because it has weak point on there, and then on top of that you have Mellie Otis, who applies ignites, and weak point is when they have buffs, you do 3 times more damage. So this Bond is actually very good to run on Crimson Hell as well. I've run it with people. Just using him actually in general right now, you can run him on Extreme as well. It's a really good unit. Now in the back, units you want to use are Red Elizabeth, because of her passive. She will heal you for 10% each turn. Twigo, because he gives you the increased strength by 30, or the increased HP by 30%. Then you got Dugedo. I'm sorry, I'm sure I said his name wrong, but he increases your defense related stats by 30%. And then again, Valentine's unit, you have Elaine, who is the same reason you want to run Jenna and Zenari on their appropriate hell raids, because she gives you that extra boost when you're running the right cosmetics. So that's it, guys. That is the updated hell guide. If I've missed anyone, or you guys think there is a unit that can run better for a certain team, let me know in the comment section below. I'll make sure to pin it, I'll comment, I'll heart it, something of the sorts, that way someone else can see that you can also use this certain unit if I missed it. But these are basically the units that you, for the most part, want to run on JP. I had gameplay on the side the entire time showing that my team was mentioned in there, and you can see it is something that I am running as well at the moment. I know some of these units you have to wait for on JP, but it's the waiting game. At some point you'll have these units and you guys can use them. If not, I did mention global teams anyway, so that way you guys can make those for the meantime until the better unit comes out for that hell raid. But anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, found this video helpful in any sort of way, actually share the video. I'm sure I get a lot of people that ask about hell raids still, and with hell raids probably coming really soon to global, this is probably be really helpful for some of you guys. So like the video. It really means that you guys found this helpful. I hope you guys did. And if you guys are new to the channel, considering that subscribe button down below, coming out here on the daily. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.
パーフェクトキューブ、私の実験に貢献したくないか？暴食の罪、ボアシン・マーリンだ。よろしく頼む。ロケーション、研究の標本がまた増えたな。素晴らしい。最初からお前らに勝ち目などなかった。